What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about learning the rules and breaking the rules. I noticed anytime I've ever had any real success at anything, it wasn't within the program that was laid out for me. So, whether it's a job or a craft or anything like that, people who've done it before you will tell you that this is the structure, this is the standard operations of procedure. And I noticed anytime I've ever made real strides, I learned what the standard was and then started thinking or creating outside of the box. um, with work and the job that I have, I definitely feel like whatever the standard is for somebody else, or whatever the standard is that gave the company success, that's the baseline. That's kind of like, hey, if you have some experience in doing this, follow these guidelines and these standard operating procedures, and you can work within the company, right? And whether it's been music, business, anything that I've done that I've made any strides in or have had any success in has always come with not completely ignoring that, learning it, understanding it, but then start creating outside of it and operating outside of it. I have a manager who is a unique talent, really good. It's come to the point where even he knows that he shouldn't be working at the company that I'm managing at, right? So there's two choices. Either let a unique talent, a supreme talent, walk out the door because there's not anything else available for him right now at the moment, or create a position for him. And not create a position for him just to appease just him. It has to work for both sides, right? So can the position maintain his engagement, his interest, what's important to him, as well as give him an opportunity to see sustainable growth where he's at in the job that he's at. So I offered him this new position, and when I say I offered it to him, I didn't go to the company. I didn't say, hey, I did it internally with the account that I'm managing. I have relatively that type of freedom, but that freedom is also based on just like kind of doing things and asking for forgiveness later. And as long as it's working, as long as people are making money, as long as there's no issues, nobody really asks any questions. So understanding that, I've took that to my advantage with this situation. Okay, so a company says, hey, we have this position available and that position, and we don't have any other positions available. How do you make sure you don't let a unique talent walk out the door? Do you just follow whatever, hey, I'm sorry, this is what the company has? Or do you start getting creative and start creating positions within your own account to make sure that that talent doesn't walk out the door? I believe, again, if the talent is unique as it is in this situation, you do what you need to do. They do it all the time in sports. They do it until the talent isn't talenting. And usually that comes with age and being over your prime. In this situation, education isn't going to run out, right? Experience isn't going to run out. Management skills isn't going to run out. If anything, all of these things get stronger. So a little bit of a different situation than sports. Good example, I think, is like Antonio Brown, right? Teams put up with Antonio Brown's antics. I think he came in a helicopter in training camp when he went to go play for the Raiders. They put up with it until you stop producing. And then, then all of a sudden you got Antonio Brown taking off his jersey and shoulder pads in the middle of a game. They stop putting up with it. This situation is different, but I guess the correlation that I'm making is when you have a generational talent like Antonio Brown, you make adjustments to make sure that that talent can continue to flourish on your team and help your team win. So in the music business, and this is why I struggle like in this corporate world, in the music business, the opposite of standard operating procedure is what is praised. Not by like label execs, because they just look for the next, record that sounds like the record that's winning, but by the creatives. You walk into a studio with a real creative, a real musician, and you play something that is unique to you, that's where you'll find your praise. You could play the best rendition of somebody else's song, and a real creative they're never going to give you praise. It could sound good. They'll even tell you it sounds good, but they'll never ever give you praise. And where I'm struggling is, why in the corporate world are we latched to these standard operating procedures? It's like once somebody tries to operate outside of these standard operating procedures, it's like alarms go off. Well, we've never done it that way, so no, we don't do it that way. This is the way we've always done it. And we've gotten mediocre results that it seems like everybody is okay with because they get to keep their job. I can't do that. Like I guess I'm not trying to change the world, but I'm definitely more of a growth mindset. And I can't operate out of fear or what ifs, or what if this happens, what if that happens. The data shows, man, that's another one. The data shows, the data shows data off of standard operating procedures. The data doesn't, there's no data on doing it not standard. So the data is only as good as the performance. So yeah, I'm definitely struggling with hey, this is how we've always done it. This is how we do it. We don't do it that way. And then for me, you run up against a wall. It's like, all right, if my ideas or my initiatives are not heard, they don't need to be praised, but not heard or given the ability to run here, then what am I doing here? So instead of going down that path, I just started doing my thing. I just started doing what I feel is necessary, what I feel is successful. Not to be right. I think to be personally right is so overrated. Is the product right? Is the procedure right? That's what I want to get right. Is the customer service right? If those things are right, then I'm happy. I don't need to be personally right. So I guess I have beef this morning with standard. Like it starts off with the word standard. And I'm a creative, so like, how in the world could I ever be okay with standard operating my procedure in a standard way. I can't do it. Like, I got to come up with a different acronym than SOPs. Creative operate. Maybe we're going to go COPs. We're going to go COPs. Creative operating procedure. And also, your competition, they all have the same standard operating procedures. So how the hell do you stand out in business if everybody else pretty much has the same exact standard operating procedures? They hire the same consultants to come to their companies and create these standard operating procedures. So what's the benefit of me going with company A versus company B if they both have the same mindsets, same standard operating procedures? The benefit comes from the creativity. Who's thinking outside of the box? And you got to be careful of the people. They don't even need to see your vision, but they need to have the confidence in you to say, I don't see it, but I'll roll with you. Go ahead and do your thing. And at least give some sort of space for that person to operate. If the leash or the shackles are always put on people, good people trying to create better ways, you're gonna lose them. And that's kind of where I've been like, all right, well then maybe this isn't for me, because I have to have the ability to create. I mean, even I am not active in music right now, but even like, if I don't write a song, I don't even need to record it. If I don't write a song, a few songs a week, like, I'll lose it. Like, I will internally implode mentally. Like, I have to get creativeness out. I have to get ideas out. So, standard operating procedures. The good ones aren't always so standard. Stop operating in standardness. I don't think it's a growth mindset. Or here's what I will say about standard operating procedures. They're extremely important for the people that are not independent thinkers, right? You have an emergency, you need an evacuation plan. If there's an emergency, active shooter or something like that, I'm not running into a break room to see what exit to leave or read or open up a 3-ring binder to find out what the evacuation plan is. I'm not doing it. So, but I do understand there are people who perform and operate better when they have those things in place. So I'm not saying that they are completely useless. I'm just saying I need to be able to color outside the lines. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, get inside, get a shower, and start this day. Thanks, guys.